So after my last video, a number of people got in touch asking me how I built this set for making YouTube videos. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. You'll be glad to know it did not cost too much money. Let's get into it right now. So I'm going to run through what camera equipment I use, how I remember what I'm saying, the audio recording, the background, and the lighting. Now the main camera I'm using is the Canon EOS R5 with the 24-70 f2.8 RF lens. Now there is some money in that combination, but you could just as easily use the EOS R with a 35mm f1.8 lens. That would be absolutely peachy. Now the distance from the camera to me is surprisingly close. I can't quite touch the lens, but I'm not far away from it really. However, the wide aperture gives a nice partial blur to the background to make it a little bit more creamy. So if you've got an f2.8 lens, make sure that you're shooting with it at f2.8. Now the camera sits on this fairly cheap tripod too, because it's not the one I take with me on different shoots for clients. That's important because it means that it can stay in exactly the same place all the time, and because it never moves, it's always in the right place to make these videos. Now you'll notice that I have a teleprompt in front of me, and that's so that I don't start waffling and going down a rabbit hole. Instead, I can read the words that are on the screen in front of me, but I don't like it when the words scroll up on their own. I prefer it instead when they're fixed. When they scroll on their own, you become a slave to the speed the words are being presented to you. Even though you can set the speed that they move at, sometimes I might get a little bit excited and I start to speak quickly, and other times, just like in life, we like to speak slowly. But when you have the words moving at a constant speed, then you can start to become a little bit robotic. Besides, I quite like these jump cuts, mainly because you don't know what's going to come next. Now I use an old iPad mini in the teleprompt, and I can control the words with my iPhone right here. So I simply deliver a line verbally, and then I move it up and then deliver the next line. Move it up, and I keep it nice and simple. Now the audio recording. I'm using the NTG4 Plus Rode microphone, which is here fixed onto this Rode SM4-R suspension shock mount in black. I'm reading that straight from the description. I don't actually need the shock mount because it's all fixed onto this holding arm, which with a grip head here is all attached to this large stand. Again, I don't need a stand like this just for a microphone, but I find it useful to be able to clamp on various other things that I'm using at different times, including this Zoom H4n Pro, which has the XLR cable from the NTG4 plugged straight into it. This all means that I can record the audio separately to the video and then put them both together on my Mac. Because the sound the camera picks up compared to the NTG4 Plus, well, we just don't even want to go there. Let's get back to the audio from the NTG4 Plus. I said, let's get back to that. Thank you very much. That's so much better. Now, while we're here, if you find this video helpful so far, then you'll find the rest of it helpful too, I'm sure. So please click that like button. There's no charge for it. It's free. It requires no effort on your part, but it really makes a difference in the YouTube algorithm. Let's get back to our video with the background. First of all, the background is all from IKEA. This is from the Kallax range. I went for the white stained oak effect because, well, I like it. The oak was a little bit too dark, the white was a bit too tacky, and the black looked like a teenage boy's bedroom, which just would have been There are 4 units here that really should be clamped together, but I can't find an easy way to do that. Messy stuff goes behind these doors, pretty stuff that makes it look nice goes on show. But I know that the lens on my camera doesn't see past the end of this. So when I'm thinking about what's in the shot and what isn't in the shot, then I only need to think about what's here, between the far left side and the far right side. Now let's swing the view back to the front so we can talk about lighting. First up, all of the household lighting in this room is turned off, and I keep the natural daylight out too, because it changes, and if you do jump cuts and the sun's just come out, then it looks a bit silly when you jump cut from one scene to another. My main light is one of these inexpensive daylight bulbs with an 85 watt bulb. I bought this from Amazon. Sometimes I use a 135 watt bulb, but most of the time this is just perfect with an 85 watt. And I keep this light quite close to me, just outside the shot here. You'll notice I took off the cover for the softbox because it's not like an LED light. It still creates a nice soft light while also being bright enough this way. Now I could go for some dramatic lighting like this, but instead I quite like to use another daylight bulb on the other side over there. But because it's a fill light, it doesn't need a softbox or even a light stand. Instead, I literally have a daylight bulb with an E27 thread screwed into a £15 Arsted lamp, also from IKEA. Now, the background also has some lighting. Firstly, there's a Philips Hue strip along the back that I can control with my phone. It's all built into Alexa, so it's on a voice... So it's on a voice command system too. I can control the brightness 1% to 100% and the color of the light too. That's one light, but then I've also got 4 LED lights that tuck into the background to make it look a little bit more interesting. There's one up here behind Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr here, and there's one hidden in this cube underneath, just tucked on the right hand side. There's one hidden in this cube over here, tucked away on the left hand side so you can't see the actual source of the light, and then another one on show in the top far right hand corner over there. It's literally just lying down flat, just shining straight up. But I then have a hair light that I've fixed onto the ceiling, and I can angle this in any direction. It's very subtle, but here it is without the hair light, and here it is without, and with. So in total it means that there are 5 LED lights and 1 strip light behind me. In fact, let's turn them all off. Ugh, that doesn't look nice at all. In fact, you can see how some of the cubes now actually look quite dark and dingy. Now the last thing to say is that this isn't where I do my work on my video editing and my photo processing. I've got a separate working kind of desk over there. It's much more functional than here. Keeping this desk clear is really important for making it easier to record videos for YouTube just like this. If I had my iMac and then backup drives and all the cables on here and I had to move them every time I wanted to record a video, well, it probably just wouldn't happen. Now if you're still watching this video, then thank you. Please like it because, as I said, it's free to do and it makes a big difference to me. Also, please consider subscribing and clicking the bell notification because my next video is going to be awesome. Actually, I don't know what it's going to be yet at all, but I promise you I'll make it awesome because this is a new channel and that'll be video number 3. In the meantime, this was video number 2. Thank you for watching and goodbye.